Good day, everyone. My name is Angèle Poirier, and this is my presentation about Costa Rica for Sociology 201. Costa Rica is technically a part of North America. It helps to form a land bridge between North America and South America. The biggest problem I identified in Costa Rica is poverty. Poverty is a huge roadblock on the way to development. I've identified three main contributors to Costa Rica's poverty: poor nutrition, bad roads, and tourism. Here we have a weak person and a strong person. To be able to earn a good living, workers must feel more like the strong person than the weak person. To feel like they are in tip-top shape, people must have access to good quality food and water. Unfortunately, Costa Rica does not monitor pesticide residues on produce grown and consumed in the country. This is ironic because any produce that Costa Rica exports meets pesticide residue regulations. If Costa Ricans, also called Ticos, are consuming produce which is not monitored for pesticide residue, they could be ingesting a lot of harmful chemicals. Yikes, like this apple. If contaminated food isn't bad enough, Costa Rica also has a water problem. According to the Global Database of National Water Treatment published by Yale University, Canada treats 80% of its anthropologically used wastewater, while Costa Rica only 0.9%. This means that Costa Rica's raw sewage is going back into the water supply untreated. If Ticos are consuming contaminated food and water, this could make them feel weak, more like this wimpy guy, or even ill, like this poor guy. But we all know that in order to work and earn a good living, workers should feel healthy and strong, like this peppy guy. If workers don't feel strong because the food they eat is contaminated, they will lose wages or profit due to reduced productivity and increased healthcare costs. So instead of being like this happy fellow whose bank account is going up, 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 they end up sad like this guy who's losing all his money. Therefore, poor nutrition contributes to poverty in Costa Rica. Now here we are again with poverty being a roadblock to development. The government, the guy dressed in black, he knows it's a problem and he's trying to come up with some solutions. What are some possible solutions for Costa Rica's pesticide residues on the food and the dirty water? Well, how about pesticide residue regulation? Let's make the food non-toxic. And wastewater treatment plants. It would make the water cleaner. Now, second contributor to poverty in Costa Rica, bad roads. Here we've got a few pictures of bad roads in Costa Rica. Road has sunk down, potholes, road washed out, nearly impassable. What are some repercussions of Costa Rica's bad roads? Well, increased cost of goods, because of course it takes a lot of time and care for truckers to travel those roads. Workers can't get to work, or they're late for work, so they're losing wages. Producers can't bring their products to market, so they're missing an opportunity to sell their goods. Therefore, bad roads contribute to poverty in Costa Rica. But again, the government is looking at this problem of poverty and is wondering, what are some solutions? Spend more money on road repair and paving. Of course, that's obvious. But can Costa Rica afford to spend this money? Well, according to information obtained from the Central Bank of Costa Rica as reported by Trading Economics, Costa Rica's debt right now is at an all-time high of 23 billion US dollars. So if Costa Rica is taking on all this debt, maybe it could use some of its loans to finance road improvement. Third contributor to poverty, tourism. According to Karen Stocker's book, Tourism and Cultural Change in Costa Rica, Pitfalls and Possibilities, some of the negative effects of tourism are increased promiscuity and increased drug use. So first, how has tourism increased promiscuity? Through romance tourism and sex tourism. So romance tourism is basically when someone goes on a holiday and has a fling, like in the movie Grease. Boy meets girl, they have a short but passionate romance. In short, they hook up. This sexual interaction is non-paid. Sex tourism is when someone goes on a holiday and hires a sex worker. This sexual interaction is paid. Finding a sex worker in Costa Rica is probably pretty easy because prostitution is legal in Costa Rica. Sex workers have more psychological issues such as depression, and that's according to an article by Hilary Surratt and friends in the Journal of Psychology and Human Sexuality. Of course, increased promiscuity results in more sexually transmitted diseases. And according to Karen Stalker, tourism has increased drug use in Costa Rica. So to summarize, the negative effects of tourism include psychological issues, STDs, and drug abuse. So if someone, such as a Costa Rican, suffers from psychological issues, STDs, or drug abuse, or even all three, that person will feel more weak than strong. That person will probably need more medical attention. These things create a burden on public health care, not to mention the increased household cost for health care. This means, at the end of the day, less money in that person's pocket. Therefore, tourism contributes to poverty in Costa Rica. How can Costa Rica help to clear poverty out of the way so it can be on its way toward development? Some possible solutions would be to illegalize prostitution. As for the war on drugs, drug trafficking persists with the help of bribery and corruption within law enforcement. So as long as that corruption is there, I'm afraid the war on drugs is a losing battle. To conclude, poverty is not a problem to be dealt with only by Costa Rica, however. All the economies of the world are interconnected. Therefore, we should pay attention to what is going on in other parts of the world. Together, maybe we can win the fight against poverty. Thanks for watching. This is Angèle Poirier signing off.